Welcome to this edition of the Million Dollar Mastermind podcast. This is where we pick the brains of high achievers from all walks of life and get their hard-earned, real-world insights on winning. I'm your host, Larry Weidel. I find that you've got this programming in your head about how to make things happen. And just two things came out there when you were talking, and that is that you're always telling people that the great things in life are on the other side of hard. So that's a great phrase, And then the other one is, I forgot what the other one was. Consistency is a superpower, or that type thing is a superpower. Those are phrases, ideas that once people get them in their mind, give them a rigidity in terms of keeping themselves on track to pay a price, stay on track, do the right things. You have to have programming. Like a computer has to be programmed. It's useless without programming. And human beings have got to have programming. I mean, you've got to have values. You've got to have in your mind to know basically what works and what doesn't work in life for you. And those kinds of things, once you get those concepts, I say things today that I've said for 40 years, but it's just part of my life, it just is in my core. It becomes part of my DNA. And so where did you get that kind of mentality, that kind of insight for things like that?
It's through, I guess through life experience. I was, I used to do triathlons, and I was a hopeless swimmer. I mean, I didn't learn to swim properly until I was 40. I was a hopeless cyclist. I really struggled on the bike. I used to find it very painful. I was a slightly better than average runner. All right. So the run leg for me was kind of the easy part. But, I'd get up at 5 a.m. to train with my buddies, and, we'd get on the bike, and, I knew it was going to suck. I knew it, but I knew that it was good for me, and I was going to come out the other side stronger. But I was prepared for the suck, even as I was putting on my cycling shoes.
Yeah.
And, on a long bike ride, I've never enjoyed a bike ride longer than 100 kilometers. I just find it just painful. But that's the power of having people around you.
Right.
You kind of you have a couple of guys to just talk you through those dark spots where you feel like getting off and calling a taxi and throwing your bike in the boot of the taxi. But it would have been a difficult thing to do by myself, I'll be honest with you. But it's just I guess knowing that you're going to go through a bit of a sucky period, you're going to go through something that's hard or difficult or unpleasant or takes you away from doing stuff that's more fun, but it's good for you, and you're going to reap the benefits of it afterwards.
Yeah, and you've learned these things by doing. Is what I'm trying to get to, and also I'm sure you've learned a lot from the martial arts, because that's different. And when you're competing, you're sparring with different people, and no one has got every move down. And they're going to find your weakness. And it's painful to find that, because you're knocked off balance. When you find, the thing about it in the martial arts, I've got a friend of mine who's educated me on a lot of this. He's in a different discipline. I don't know what it is, but they will exploit. They'll look at you, they'll see how you move, and they'll see where your weakness is, and then they'll set you up to exploit it. And it seems like life is that way too. Business is that way. So when things go wrong, you can look at it as that's the end of the world. I'm not going to do this anymore. Or that's a weakness. When I plug that weakness, I'm going to be incredible, And, so now I just got to plug that weakness, And so you learn that things about, because that's performing. These lessons transfer in life, but people who never put themselves out there to learn a new sport, to learn a musical instrument, to go out there and get involved with people doing projects like that, they're holding themselves back from all of the lessons they can learn that would impact their life in all their other areas of their life. Would you agree with that?
Look, I think that is so well said. I think there is tremendous value in deliberately putting yourself in circumstances that are difficult. You know, we have such easy, convenient lives these days, and often we lack that toil and that struggle. But I think putting yourself in a situation where you're going to struggle and you're going to have to toil, I think there's incredible value from that, whether it's physical, whether it's going to the gym and lifting weights, or learning a new skill or a new sport. Martial arts has been great for me, or whether it's an intellectual struggle, learning a new skill, going to night school, university, college, learning how to trade. I think all of these things have got tremendous value for all of us as humans.
Well, the Bible says buffet your body, and, stress your body, strain your body. It's like there's a thing in like cryotherapy right now where people are, I guess that's probably big down there too. But the thing is, like, you have all of these millions of miles or thousands of miles of blood vessels in your body. And most people never, they never stress it, but it's good for the stress to go in there, for they can be contracted, they can expand, and from the inside out, and that helps keep you young, and that's why the one reason the cryotherapy can create so many dramatic benefits for regeneration, controlling inflammation, things like that. But
have you tried cryotherapy?
Yeah, the cryotherapy where you go in and the machine. I guess they have it in Singapore, but for 3 minutes you go in there and they drop the temperature down to minus 180 or something like that. Yeah, that's.
Have you tried it?
Yeah, and at the time I was recovering. I was in the early stage of recovery from my cycling accident, and I just too much stress for me to. But I'm getting ready to start it back again, and but the thing is that I'm going through a 15-year. I'm at the end of a 15-year recovery from a cycling accident in Palm Beach, and it's been a long, boring thing. But the good side of that is that's where all the podcasts has come from. My best-selling book, a lot of other great things have happened because I got my butt sat down and I couldn't be mobile. So I had to do other things, and so. But the whole time I've been working on the therapy. But the thing is, for 15 years, I haven't really been able to golf or ski, which was my primary activities, back at that time. And so I still live half of the year in Aspen. I'm in Aspen now, and I just finished 5 days on the mountain, which is the first
beautiful.
time I've been back on the mountain 5 days in 15 years. And the thing about it is, I love skiing. It's great. This has been excruciatingly painful 5 days. It's getting a little bit better, but it's just like, the body, new, because you got to have new boots and new skis and new equipment and then your body's got to learn how to get back and do these moves. But I can feel health returning to the body from this because the adaptations, but it's, I've just had to force myself to go do it because I know this is something you love and you got to fight to get yourself back out there so you can enjoy it. And that's pretty much true in life. And that informs what we're talking about here about people making life choices about your future. You're going to put yourself through the unpleasant things that give you the life and the things you want, or you're going to go for comfort. And the thing is, comfort's not going to take you anywhere. Relax. In fact, out here with cycling, when we cycle in the mountains, I had a cycling coach, and he would always say, "Well, you can always quit. You're going up the mountain. Well, all you got to do is turn around, and just roll right back into town. At any moment the pain can be over. Just quit." And but if you keep on going, eventually you're going to get to the top of the mountain. And so, you change your pacing. You can, take deep, it's like the great thing about having a coach, like you say, people around you, they can come in and say, okay, take 10 deep breaths, stand up in the, in the stirrups now and look around, look at the mountains, Aren't we lucky to be in a place like this? Enjoy the view. But it gets your mind where you're controlling your mind and to do different things to stay on track, to where you don't get fixated. The thing is, we give up because we get fixated on things that's going to cause us to stop. And whatever you're in, you can't. You've got to break out of there. So I wanted to address how difficult this trading the options would be once you pay the price of educating yourself on how it works. How much is it a realistic type thing? And it sounds like it's a realistic type project that you could put into your everyday activity if you're on a vacation, if you're, in the middle of a big project at work, if you're in a big physical activity, or doing things with your kids, you're traveling, whatever, you still can find time. It sounds like a manageable type thing to be successful with.
It is. All you need is a reliable internet connection. I mean, I would recommend if you're going to be traveling, spending a lot of time on planes, restaurants, whatever, outdoor activities, and you're just not going to be able to check your account every day, maybe just wind your positions back for a couple of weeks and have a real holiday, have a holiday away from trading as well. But if you're on a business trip or you're on a short trip, or you're always going to have that 20 minutes in the hotel room every evening, absolutely fine.
Yeah, people are always checking their email. There, you got your text coming in, you got the social media, and so it's very doable. And so I appreciated you sharing that with us. What would you say if I give you a chance to advise somebody how to go through this? Which to start with this would be to get the book, read the book, and then to look you up on YouTube or to your website, or what?
Yeah, probably on my website and Twitter are probably the best places to find me. I'm more active on Twitter than other social media. So my Twitter handle is just Simon_Ree, REE. And my website is taoftrading.com, TAOOFTRADING.com. And my book, it's available on Amazon. It's called The Tao of Trading. It costs $9. If you like that, you like my style and you want more, you know where to find me.
Fantastic. Thanks so much for sharing. Any last word that you would pass on to people that are taking charge of their life and working to make things better?
Just keep at it. As we said earlier, if you show up every day, you're already ahead of the competition, because most people don't. Honestly, consistency is a superpower. You show up every day, just go for that 1% incremental improvement every day. You'll be so far ahead of the average person.
Absolutely right on. Thanks so much for your time, Simon, and look forward to talking to you down the road.
Been a real pleasure, Larry. Thank you.
In fact, next time I'm in Singapore, I'm going to ring you up.
We'll go for a bike ride.
Okay, sounds great. Goodbye.
That's great. Cheers, Larry.
Thanks for listening to the Million Dollar Mastermind. If you felt there were any valuable takeaways from this episode, please take a minute and leave us a 5-star review. Your feedback is important and really helps us get the word out to a wider audience. Remember, we have a valuable webinar that is absolutely free. Register for it right now at WeidelOnWinning.com. Thanks for listening.